Well, hello. Day after Christmas. I just got news that my Aunt Barbara is in the ICU. Aunt Barbara is one of my mother's sisters. She only had 2 left. Sounds like she will just have 1 left. And the 1 left is the oldest. So the birth order was Aunt Janine, who are the Sutherlands that you may see, and that Vicky lady, that's her daughter. She's my mother's niece. She's my cousin, my first cousin, and your second cousin. Ask Linda. Linda knows all about first and second and third cousins. So it was my Aunt Janine, and then my mom, and then my Aunt Barbara. That's the birth order. So just yesterday I was, during the day I was looking at pictures of my Aunt Janine, who I believe may have some dementia issues. It's not spoken aloud on the videos, but it's, or the pictures, but it's hinted at. And sometimes I get messages from her that feel like they're probably not from her. I don't know, it's a feeling I have. But she looks healthy, Aunt Janine does, but Aunt Barbara is dying. And that makes me sad. Let's talk about Christmas, wanna? That was interesting. A lot of people had a lot of fun. That's good. There was much running up and down the stairs. And then we had Bella and Cameron playing with toys. Bella's no longer afraid of the basement. That's kind of a big thing because she always was afraid of the basement. Bless her heart. And she loves Cameron. I would like to be able to watch her and him interact to make sure that she's not Bella-ing him. Bella can be a bully. You know that. Bella can be a bully. And that little guy, that little Cameron, he's smart. He's watching. Bella's a doer. Cameron's a watcher. Loved seeing Cody. Had wonderful interactions with him. Enjoyed my interactions with Nicole. I do not go beyond the surface to find out if there's, I'm kind of psychic in a way, in that I can feel people, but some people I have a blind spot for, I admit. Some people I get it all wrong, but most people, and it has served me very well as a nurse, and has worked very well for me with my mother. My father also, being able to feel what's underneath the surface. I really enjoyed that time with Cody's family, and I think I'm going to ask your dad to invite them all over. Cody, Nicole, Cameron, and Bella over for a dinner. I don't know if I will get the chance to do that. Because the main truth here is that Christmas Day was not good here. Christmas Day, before you guys got here, was horrid. And it was my fault, and it was your dad's fault, it was our fault. We hurt each other on each other. And I am the drama queen. And I felt, listen, this is for me. We're doing this for me. All up in my ego, all up in my feelings, all up in pain and resentment and pettiness. All me. And your dad's always going to react how he reacts. He's just always going to do it. I know that. It was a time when I did not want to keep my mouth shut. So if you felt any kind of a vibe when you came in, that was the residual of what went on, because we did not apologize to each other. And I am not careful way too often. I am not careful enough. I just am not careful enough. I feel it, I think it, it's out my mouth, it's on my face. I'm sorry. But you always know where you are with me. That's a good thing, right? Yeah. We're going to say it's a good thing today. Wonderful presents. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. You know, I was, for somebody who brought the candy, the chocolates and things, I had said to your dad, you know what feels strange is there's no candy, no cookies in the house. I did not do any baking, anything like that. There's nothing like that. And it just feels odd. And then I felt like, this is funny. People coming in and I'm sitting at the table and I was able to get up and move and go to the stove, and I did take I took at least one breathing treatment, and I was medicated. I had taken 2 Klonopins, not at the same time. One at 11 in the morning when all the shit boiled over, and then another one about 2, 3 o'clock to keep it tamped down, along with 2 other non-narcotic anxiety medications. And I was high, and I did use morphine for breathing, which really helped because all of the yelling that I did, and then I sang down here while I was kind of waiting for Josh, who couldn't get up here, because I did call. I sent out an SOS, please come. If you're not busy, if you do not have to be where you are, and if you have to be where you are, you stay there. But if you could come early, please come early, I said to Josh. He wasn't able to get here early, and that's okay. It worked out. It would have worked out had he not been able to, because he just didn't want to. It would have worked out. I would have adapted. My first reaction is, help, with your dad. Oh. But he is ready for me to be gone. And I tell him, I'm working on it as fast as I can. Social worker's working on it, and I'm smoking as much as I can, because I have to be at a certain point to go into a nursing home. I'm not sick enough yet to go into a nursing home. So it was kind of funny yesterday. Everybody coming in, she's dying. You say she's dying because she looks okay. Are you sure? Is she lying? She looks okay. That's what the feeling that I got from some people. But for me, it's a blessing that I'm not there yet, that I can still interact and meddle in all your lives, because you're my circus, you're my monkeys. I'm sorry, you're your circus and your monkeys as well, but you will forever and always be my monkeys under my big tent. It's just the way it is. And if you think about it, it's that way for you too. And I saw absolute proof of it in the discussion between Christopher, between the discussion between Chastity and Grace. There is some growing and trying to cut of apron strings and laying of boundaries. But Grace will always be Chastity's circus and your circus. Always. Doesn't matter if she's 98 years old. She's your circus, your monkey. Roots and wings, you got to give them both. And then I said, I could not. Joshua, this is for you. I could not let Mark come into the house and not say to him, and this is all I said, this was the only thing I said. I asked him to come over and sit by me. Everyone around the table appeared to be in their own conversations. I said it quite low. I said, Krista said that you laid your hands on Jenna. And then it turned really awkward really fast, and it really upset him. There was much running up and down of stairs. There was much conversation and consultation between like Jenna and Matilda and Mark and Jenna and Josh and Jenna, because I had crossed a boundary that I shouldn't have crossed. But I say, I want to know, is my granddaughter safe with you? Jenna doesn't have to love me. She doesn't have to like me. I love Jenna. I want her always to be safe. I want her to have the best life that's possible. I want her to be in healthy relationships. I want Jenna to grow and blossom and flower. And I do not want anyone putting their hands on Jenna. Perhaps the story is that Krista, being Krista, lied. But Jenna did not deny it when her mother said it. So that was what that was about. That got awkward and strange, and I'm sorry. But part of me also felt like those young adults and with their significant others are like, okay, here's one more party, let's get through this, let's do this. You know, yeah, we're getting cash, okay, let's go, we're done. We ate, ooh, the food was good. The food was good. Your dad and Grace and Chastity did excellent. Grace made that gravy. I gave the recipe. And you never use cornstarch in gravy. It does not taste the same. It is not the same. And the roux gravy, which is just equal parts of some type of fat, which are drippings from the pan, with butter added to make an appropriate amount, to mix with an equal amount of flour. You stir that around in that pan, and you can get that flour taste, the raw flour taste off, is the bare minimum you should do. So it should be spread around in that pan for a minute or two. But the longer you let it go, keeping it moving around the pan so it doesn't burn or get too brown in one place, keeping it moving deepens the flavor. And then the questionable item for me is how much liquid to add. I don't know that ratio. I kind of have to do that in my head, and it would appear that what I did from sitting at the table was give the right ratio of a liquid. And when you make a roux like that with the flour and the fat, you can add milk and make it a milk gravy, like for biscuits and gravy, or chicken fried steak, I've seen it put on, or something of that type. Or you can add broth, beef broth, if you're making beef or venison or rabbit or anything you want kind of a deep taste to, a deep under flavor to. Well, look at me, 14 minutes in and I've been giving you recipes. Anyway, that'll interest Jason. He likes to cook. Joshua, I don't know. I think Joshua just eats because he has to eat to live. He loves what he eats if it's good. But Jason is grandma. Jason is my mom. Jason is, how do I put these things together to make them so good? And let's see what I did with, oh my goodness. Christopher, your kids are growing so big. So they're getting older. Isn't that something? Just the difference that all of our children that's between all of our children, the differences between them, how each of them are complete individuals unto themselves, making choices for themselves, learning to make choices for themselves. We must do some critical thinking teaching, okay? We do need to teach them to think. That's basically what school does, is it gives you some facts and things that you need to know for things like the history of the United States, how it works in our government, is supposed to work, the history of our country as it was founded. And somebody said history books are written by the winners. This should not be. History books should be the written documentation of events witnessed by people who experienced them at the time. And as such, they don't deserve our judgment on their individual things. People do the very best they can with what they have at the time. They do. They don't want to screw up. Nobody wants to screw up. Hey, I think I'll screw this up and see what happens. When they're children, if they're immature, if they cannot entertain themselves, if they get bored easily, if they're impulsive, those are the little ones you have to watch. Stirring up stuff just to stir it up and see what happens, because I don't mind getting in trouble. And when you say trouble, all you're doing is you're trying to say, look, I see that you did this. This is not what is socially acceptable. It does not work for the greater good. And we always want to keep the greater good in mind. We always want to make sure that we are not harming ourselves or harming other people, because it just doesn't make for a good world. That's it. It doesn't make for a good world. I enjoyed Christmas. The food was delicious. The faces were gorgeous. Everyone was supposed to have gotten a bow. Bruce wasn't able to get another bag of bows, and it would have been stupid anyway. Everybody thought it was stupid the first time it happened. I just wanted the first and the last to kind of have some weird synchronicity, and that's on me. You know, managing expectations in life is very important. Expecting something to be all of one thing is unrealistic and puts a lot of pressure on you and other people. You just go with the flow. Watch as it turns. I wanted to say a prayer. I wanted to say the prayer, but I didn't want to say the prayer because I was not in the right place to say the prayer of gratitude that I have for God, for giving me, for blessing me with a place to live for right now, for people who love and support me, even when it's hard for them to do so. I am thankful that it's funny. I'm thankful that I find it funny, and I'm sorry that if you're not finding it funny. If you're not finding it funny, I understand, because it's happening to you, or, you know, the drama is caused now in your families. And speaking of Josh, I feel like maybe tomorrow, Monday, I will find out if there was or not, because Josh didn't even tell me bye, didn't come and hug me or nothing. But I don't have time for it. I don't have time for the drama. Come to me, address me. Grandma, can we go and talk about this? Absolutely. Tell me. Let's talk. I don't understand why that's hard. I would not be able to reserve judgment if he did put his hands on her. I would not be able to reserve my judgment of that, because women are not safe. Domestic violence happens all the time. There is nothing that is impossible for a human to do given the correct, not correct, giving the right set of circumstances. I understand that about human beings. That somebody you do not expect to react or to do something is capable of doing it if they feel the situation calls for it. Life is messy. It really is. It's hard. And the good news is, nobody gets it right. Nobody, none of us. We will never get life perfectly. We will never totally understand everything. We will never know everything. We're designed that way. It's not up for us. We get to make these choices, and the big choices, how do I make this okay with me without making it hurt somebody else or me hurting myself with it? And that's on everybody. Everybody got to come there and find that and realize that and understand that. And that's hard. And a lot of people don't like to do hard, or they're too busy to do hard. But you don't have to be so busy that you can't do this in small pockets of isolated time, on the road as you're driving to work, on the road as you're driving back, when you're sitting and everybody's looking at their phone and you could be playing a game or talking or texting. Turn it off and just think about it. Think about the deeper things. Think about what it means to be a good human being, what it means to be a good citizen. Think about it. Have opinions that are based in fact and that are for the greater good, because the way you treat somebody else is the way someone else is going to treat you. Not that person necessarily, or any of their friends or family, or anybody you know. It's why I don't say everybody loves Jason anymore. I said it, and the universe said, do they? And then he got the shit kicked out of him. I'll never forget that. Never, ever. Never have seen Jason in a fight. Never have seen Jason hurt physically by anybody other than his brother Josh. And that was eye-opening. Who you see yourself as, and who you think you are, and who others see you as, and who they think you are two different things. Authenticity and integrity comes when those two things merge, when the people see you as you see yourself as you are. You're not putting on a mask to show this person that you're something that you want to be, and that you hope to be, and you're striving to be. You just are who you are. This has been fun, and I could do this all day long. But my Aunt Barbara is dying. My cousin Teresa is shattered. She has so much pain in her life. Christopher, if you could please say a prayer for Aunt Barbara's family and for Teresa. She says her name is Therese, but my entire life growing up with that girl, and I got to see my mom's nieces and my cousins on her side a lot, except Aunt Janine. They lived far away. I see her differently. Everybody goes through shit. And people are gonna people. That's all I got for you for now. I love you.